Imagine sprinting full speed toward an enemy line, weapons raised, adrenaline pumping, and right before the collision, someone hits pause. That fraction of a second where a hero suddenly realizes exactly what he is about to do is where our story begins. This map shows the plains of Kurukshetra. It is the site of a massive, impending civil war. Two factions of a deeply divided royal family, the Pandavas and the Kauravas, have drawn their battle lines to decide who gets to rule the empire. But we aren't experiencing this standoff from the front lines. We are actually listening in on a conversation happening miles away in a safe palace. The blind king, Dhritarashtra, is sitting anxiously, waiting to hear what is happening to his sons on the battlefield. Since the king cannot see the armies himself, his trusted advisor, Sanjaya, has been granted a temporary gift of divine vision. Sanjaya is essentially providing the king with a live, real-time broadcast of the war as it unfolds. Look at this translation of the original text. The entire Bhagavad Gita begins with this simple, highly anxious question from a worried father. Gathered on this sacred soil, what did my children and the children of Pandu do? People often think of ancient philosophy as calm lectures delivered in peaceful temples. This is the exact opposite. We are stepping into a high-stakes military report right as an empire is about to tear itself apart. You can practically feel the terrifying noise of the battlefield. Thousands of soldiers are blowing giant conch shells and beating war drums. The signal to attack has been given. This illustration shows our main protagonist, Arjuna, right in the middle of this chaos. He is a legendary, undefeated warrior. Steering his chariot is his trusted friend and divine guide, Lord Krishna. Right as the arrows are about to fly, Arjuna makes a highly unusual request. He tells Krishna to drive their chariot away from the safety of their own army and park directly in the empty space between the two roaring military forces. He wants to look clearly at the faces of the men he is supposed to kill to win this throne. So the chariot pulls forward, leaving their ranks, and stops right in the dust of no man's land. By stepping out of his rigid military formation, Arjuna stops being a soldier following orders and becomes an objective observer. Looking at the opposing army from this exposed, quiet space triggers an immediate psychological crisis. This graphic illustrates exactly what Arjuna sees when he scans the enemy lines. He finds himself staring directly into the eyes of his own grandfathers, his favorite childhood teachers, his uncles, and his cousins. The physical toll of this realization hits him instantly. His mouth goes completely dry, his skin begins to burn all over, and his legs give out beneath him. He is experiencing a full-blown panic attack. His hands tremble so violently that his legendary, supposedly invincible bow, Gandiva, slips right out of his grip and hits the floor. Look at this diagram. Arjuna is wrestling with a brutal logical paradox. He realizes that winning a royal throne doesn't balance out the fact that he has to slaughter his own family to achieve it. The prize means absolutely nothing if the people he wants to share it with are dead. And the logic goes deeper. Arjuna argues that killing their elders will wipe out age-old traditions, corrupt society, and plunge future generations into chaos. Arjuna isn't acting out of cowardice. He is paralyzed by a massive surge of empathy. He is crushed by the realization that victory on this scale requires the sacrifice of his own humanity. He reaches a final, desperate conclusion. He tells Krishna that it would be better for him to drop his weapons, stand defenseless on the battlefield, and let his cousins murder him rather than participate in this massive crime. Utterly overwhelmed by his own grief, he throws his remaining arrows aside and collapses into the dark back corner of his chariot. Outside the chariot, tens of thousands of men are screaming for blood, but inside, there is only a heavy, crushing silence as Arjuna makes his choice. I will not fight. The Bhagavad Gita begins at the absolute bottom, in a moment of total, relatable human despair. Every profound piece of philosophy in the subsequent chapters is a direct response to this specific, impossible dilemma. It is a step-by-step guide designed to pull a broken man out of his moral paralysis. It leaves us with a question that feels incredibly relevant today. When you are trapped between two impossible, deeply flawed paths, how do you find the clarity to take the next step forward?